I mean, if you limit to IT and understand that which are the stocks which have gone higher, and perhaps there is no pattern here. I mean, you can argue and say, look, Tech Mahindra or HCL Tech, they've gone higher. Why? Because those P multiples for Tech Mahindra and for even Wipro for that matter, let's say 3 months ago, it was not comparable with TCS. But what you've seen in last couple of days is that TCS in last 1 month has actually given you returns which are 20%. Now, TCS did not come out with great set of numbers. TCS is an expensive stock, it is a market leader, but that growth is coming to you at a price. So it is not that the underperformers or the low hanging or stocks which in a sense have seen P re-rating. I guess the IT rally has been very universal. It is just not getting restricted to a particular clan. You have a 20% move in Tech Mahindra and a 20% you have a 20% move in TCS. You got a 15% move in HCL Tech and you got a 12% move in Emphasis. So the price action in IT is just not limited and restricted to a particular group. Having said that, the question you got to ask yourself are two fundamental questions. What will happen to IT companies, especially in the mid-cap IT space, when we know that there is a talent crunch? And we know that wage hikes are here and wage hikes are here to stay. How many mid-cap IT companies can actually absorb that wage hike and talent shuffle without having an impact on their margin? That we will only figure out in next 2 or 3 quarters, because in the first move you want to retain talent, you would say business is coming, let's retain talent, we'll deal with wage inflation. But when the base effect kicks in, and when you plan for FY23 and FY24, that's the time you're going to take some hard decisions, and that's the time the real test of a brand or test of a leadership, at least on the manpower side, would be tested. That's one. Second, if you look at the best case scenario, are we in for a same kind of an expansionary cycle for FY23? The answer to that, well, may be no. So if you're buying IT stocks now, what is the trigger? And the trigger just cannot be that, okay, a 12% guidance has gone to 14% guidance, or a 14% guidance has been increased to 15% guidance. Large part of the change of business environment or the change of revenue orbit is something which markets, they already know. Now, what you don't want to see is that this entire growth gets challenged because of wage hike or because of the base effect. So the point I'm trying to make here is that it's been a very strong broad-based rally. It is not just getting restricted or limited to a particular IT sector. It is not specific to only large cap or only mid cap. It's very widespread. But the challenge on wage and the challenge on how the base effect would kick in for IT companies at this valuation is something which is real.